to begin with, I just pulled all the hair out of my face before applying the wig cap. I always use a face primer as well before applying grease paint, just to give a little bit more protection to my skin. And then to flatten down the hairs of my eyebrows, because my eyebrows are quite thick, I used Pritt Stick, so it's just a glue stick. Just make sure whatever glue stick you use that it's water soluble, so it'll say washable on the front of it, and obviously that it's non-toxic. Once you have the hairs flattened, I used a really pale thick concealer to try and knock out as much of the dark colour as possible, which can be quite difficult when you have dark eyebrows, but just do your best. And then once you have all the concealer on and you've blended it out around the skin, use either a white or a translucent powder to set it into the face. To apply my white face makeup, I just used a plain old makeup sponge and used this to press the makeup into my face. And I almost created the edge using the edge of the sponge as I went along. So if you're not so confident in doing this, you could maybe draw the face outline first using maybe a white pencil like Max Fascinating, but otherwise you can just use the edge of your sponge like I am here. And then to perfect the outline, I just used a regular eyeshadow brush. You can use a concealer brush, and then just make that edge as sharp as possible and use the sponge to blend it in with the rest of the makeup. So once I have all the white on and I'm happy with the coverage, I used my Ben 9 neutral set to keep everything in place. You can use any white or neutral powder that you have, preferably invisible though, nothing with too much colour. And then to mark out the shape of the eyebrows, I used a light grey pencil. This is just to make sure I get the shape right so that I don't have to commit myself to the gel eyeliner quite yet. And then also once I had this done, I used it to outline the entire eye design before I started to colour that in using the black eyeshadow. I marked out where I want the edge of the triangles to be first with the little dots so that I could make it a little bit easier on myself once I go in to fill in the design later. So once I had the template in place, I could start applying the shape using a matte black eyeshadow and an angled eyeliner brush. In this case, I'm using a paintbrush because I find that they're really sturdy and they tend to be very durable and really good for design or detail work. So I just started pushing the shape in over where the design is supposed to be. So from the dot down to where I had the grey eyeliner, and I applied this all over the entire eye design. I started to add some of the shading by pulling some of that black eyeshadow out from the triangle design. This means that it's going to be a little bit more intense towards the line and a little bit more shaded then as it meets the white. a bit more of a gradient, I used a MAC's Scene eyeshadow, which is a lighter grey, and using a tapered blending brush, I applied this to the outside of where I had the black to blend that out a little bit, and like I said, to create a bit more of a gradient. Then I used a flat eyeliner brush again, just to apply a little bit more of that black directly against the line, just to make it a little bit more intense right at the inner edge. Next, I filled in the eyebrow shape, going over the pencil with black gel eyeliner and a really thin eyeliner brush. I applied a black kohl pencil to my inner waterlines. And I used a really metallic silver pigment and pushed that all around the eye and filled in the shape of the negative space triangle. I used the same brush and black gel eyeliner again to line my upper lash line, and I applied a little bit of that matte black eyeshadow right beneath my lower lashes. And finally, to finish the black eye design, I went around using the same gel eyeliner just to intensify the inner section, and you can also use a blending brush just to blend that gel eyeliner into the surrounding black eyeshadow. Use a little bit more of your white grease paint to fix away any fallout that may have happened from the eyeshadow, and just remember to set this with powder before you go on. I used my black kohl eye pencil again to start outlining the shape I want for the lips, and I also used it to blend around the inner angular areas of the lips also. To fill in the centre of the lips, I used a silver grease paint. This one is by RCMA. And I used my metallic silver pigment to set this and also to intensify it as well. To finish off the lips, I used the same gel and eyeliner pencil again, and used this to give a little bit more definition to the outside of the lips. Used it to define the longer squiggly bits coming out from the side of the mouth, and also used a little bit of that matte black eyeshadow to add a little bit of shading around the edge of the mouth as well. If you're not confident enough to draw the tears on using the black gel eyeliner, you can always use the same grey or light coloured pencil like from earlier to draw in the shape first, and then go over it with the gel eyeliner once you're happy with the shape. And I used the same silver pigment again to add a couple of little highlights over the tear shapes. give the mask a bit more of a theatrical and a bit more of a 3D look, I went around the outside of it using my black eyeshadow and the same flat liner brush and just pulled the black around to make sure that the shape was perfect, and also pulled the black out from the shape and used a blending brush then to blend it in with the surrounding skin. You can apply mascara if you want. This doesn't necessarily have to be worn, but the Pierrot makeup is quite an androgynous one, so regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, you can still apply this. And this makeup really does suit both men and women because of the nature of the character. So all that's left to do now is to apply either a black skull cap, or in my case, tights. So if you want to wear this out, just make sure that you cut off the legs of the tights and apply a little knot at the top. And then finally, I applied a black sequenced beret. I made the little collar out of black mesh material and some ribbon in a tulle shape. And I finished off the costume by applying a black and a white flower to the side of the beret. You can skip this if you're a fella and maybe just carry a black rose for your lost love. But in the meantime, this is the finished look. I hope you liked it, guys. Thanks a million for watching. Slán!